busy today, so we haven't really been able to get caught up on what's going on. But we're gonna have a little chat because I think it's necessary for those paying attention to everything in the current situation. The world is facing not only that, but not only just with my situation, but the situation the world is facing. And so basically it's kind of obvious to me that China has some technology that we don't understand and that they're attacking us. It is extremely obvious to me at this point, and that we're only seeing the beginnings of it now, where some of this technology, again, is stuff that we can't really explain, and that's why they want transparency with certain other things. If you know what we've been talking about lately, and drawing attention to what they've been talking about in congressional hearings and stuff, having many hearings about all these military coming forward to tell their first accounts of what's happened, things that have been going on and stuff like that, and they've been keeping secret for decades. China's been aware of it, and other people probably too, and what you have to realize is they've been reverse engineering that technology behind the scenes, and they've been doing things while we haven't. And what you have to realize is that some of this technology is the sort of thing where it may not make sense to you, but you could figure it out. You could potentially get ahead of it. It's not completely out of the realm. Some of it, I could actually sit here and have a little back and forth with somebody about theorizing things about how to do something and stuff like that. Like we're not talking about impossible things. We're just talking about things that are unknown, things that we haven't really seen yet, but they're all conveniently happening to me, and they're all conveniently happening to other people that are also sort of inconvenient situations, if that makes sense. Like just the right situation that would make them exactly what they need to be to test this out. And I actually don't think it's very wise for me to sit here and give you a list of the things that I've noticed that are kind of obvious. I don't think that's wise, because I think that this will confirm to whoever's doing it that these things have possibly worked, and that it will just get worse. I think that if you're paying attention, and if you read between the lines, and you kind of get what we're talking about a lot of the time, like what's going on with the stream and stuff like that, you might be able to pick up on some stuff here and there, just for those who would want to do good with it and not harm. But it's the sort of thing where, unfortunately, it's been the other way around. Unfortunately, it hasn't been the good outweighing the bad, and we've seen kind of a lot of evidence of that. So we need to, absolutely, I agree with a lot of the talks lately with just being transparent about some of the stuff that we've kept silent and stuff like that, so that way the technology can be properly dealt with, that we're seeing other nations try to do. And again, some of this stuff, if you talk to a scientist that understands what they're saying, I'll be honest with you, I can tell you something that nobody's doing that would be bad for another country. I could give you an idea if you want. That's what I'm saying. if I can do that, like if I can sit here and I can theorize an idea of something in the modern world with modern technology, of something that would work technically speaking, theoretically, and I can spitball it and pitch that idea to you, and you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a, like, you know, I'm just a streamer, man, you know? So if I can do it, this is the point. And so, like, yeah, I'm not a dummy, but I'm not the smartest person alive either. I'm not, like, a scientist. I'm not doing this regularly. I'm not, you know, and so, like, this is the point. Like, why aren't we getting ahead? Why aren't we getting our scientists on this? What, you know, like, and some of the smart people are saying that. You know, like, they are saying that. They are saying that we need to get behind it. It's absurd to think that everything that you see, like it's absurd, like it's completely absurd when you follow a pattern with somebody where just bad things, bad things, bad things, bad things, bad things, bad things, bad things. Like, eventually you start to notice a pattern. Eventually you don't call that a pattern anymore. You don't call it bad luck anymore. You call it call it exactly a pattern. That's what you call it. You call it a pattern of you know, things that are happening, and that you would want to follow that and look into it. Like, yeah, it is a pattern, but you know, like, that's the point. You would want to recognize that pattern and not just excuse it. And so, like, this is what's kind of been happening, is like, we call out a pattern, and it just gets worse, proving it more. And so, like, I'll say, just like, why, you know, why aren't we doing more with that then? You know, I think the answer to that is just because we haven't, just because you know, in the past it's like, you know, well, don't talk about it, don't research it, don't, you know, and that's not the case anymore. That's not what we should do. You know, what we need to realize is, yes, reserve, like definitely, like, make it difficult to figure out what you're doing, but still talk about it and still be transparent about it, because, again, this is what happens when you don't. They are successful. And yeah, like if you really think that I'm not talking with some of it being drone tech, then you're a fool. If you think some of that isn't drone tech, then you're a fool. Like, and most of you aren't fools. Most of you know what you see, you know what you hear. If you don't think some of that is the capability and the advancement of drone tech and what that means for other technology, then yeah, like, and that's what we've been looking like. We've been looking like fools, where China's been working on this for a while and we haven't. And let me just put this out there to the US. Let me just put this out there. With drone tech, you can do things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do with, you know, I don't know, you know, like things that are lightweight and can have effects on certain things, but minor effects. But if you spread them out and you fly a bunch of them, suddenly these effects become much greater. And it's the sort of thing where I don't have to explain what that means. I don't have to explain that to somebody that understands war tactics and strategy. I don't have to explain that. You get what I'm saying. And even just from a basic perspective of being in the gun, even just from that perspective, but wholly aside from that, we're talking aside from that, we're talking about real evidence of seeing things over and over again that would be like 1 in a million chance. You know, like 1 in a million chance, and then this is just over and over and over and over and over. And you're like scratching your head, you're like, okay, now it's not theoretical anymore. I'm seeing something that's defying the laws of physics. Something that doesn't make any sense. You know, something we can't explain, something I can't break down and explain. And I'm seeing a lot of it, not just a little bit of it. Fascinating stuff. And by the way, I'm not the only one. So it's very interesting. You know, just be listening to those congressional meetings and stuff like that, and hearing. You know, there is a lot of redacted stuff. There is. I was flat out looking at all of the diagrams that they redacted and posted of all of the, you know, flying objects over the years that were talked about and then covered up or something like that. Well, there's a whole article now where all that stuff, you know, some stuff's blocked out, but you can, I mean, there's a website for it with it's like a PDF. You just look at it and you just scroll down the website. I think I shared it in chat the one night. You just scroll down the website and you'll just see all these diagrams of all these things over the years that they've been lying about since like, you know, like, well, the diagrams on there go back to like the 60s, like the 50s. It's crazy. It's crazy. But who knows how long it actually goes back. And so that's kind of my point, is when we've known about it and been lying about it for this long, think about all the other technology that we've been able to advance. And out of fear of what's going to happen, we didn't do anything. Well, I mean, we feared the atom bomb too. You know what I mean? Like, there's just things that there's measures you take. Yes, and this is why I've talked about regulation and how regulation shouldn't be used as a tool for propaganda to confuse people, but as a tool to remind people that with proper regulation, you can get things that you need to have to protect your nation, but through regulating what you need to regulate so that the proper channels are gone through and people don't find out about this or that and the other thing, and those regulations are in place, so that way, you know, it's not like, you know, oh, oops, we went through the wrong contractor for this part and now they know how everything works just because we ordered this one part from this one contractor and they figured out what it was for. You know, like basic stuff that you know, like people would know, but people that might not necessarily do that job, you know, like Hegseth or something like that. No offense, but you know, like let's just be honest. Like, he's not super experienced at this point. He needs time in the position, and you know, it's the sort of thing where, you know, it's going to take that time to realize how you should be and how you should do things. So if he's one of those guys that thinks, you know, regulation's bad and stuff like that, and he applies that to everything that he does, that's actually not a good thing, because now he just thinks regulation is bad. So, you know, and then, you know, conveniently we see a slight example of this where, you know, things are text in a text and he's like kind of denying it a little bit. That's not propaganda, guys. What you have to realize is, like, they're creating propaganda if they deny it. You have to realize that they sat there and showed the evidence of what was tweeted, and then he sits there and says those weren't war plans, or like that somehow the enemy could have gotten that a different way. Like, he was actually trying to say, like, the enemy, people just know this stuff and it's okay to just do, like, he was trying to like make it seem like it's not a big deal. No, that was a big deal, man. That was a really, really big deal, man. the enemy got those war plans, and they know how we think. Like, these guys are really, really dangerous to our national security. And all around this happening, there are secret wars going on that you don't know about. And this is why some of the conspiracy theorists come out and they pose for Trump, because they don't actually know. They think it's the Democrats. This is why. Because the Republicans, some of them are like, they really are so into it. Like, the point is, they do know about the really nasty stuff that some of the enemies are doing, because they're helping them kind of do it. And so, therefore, some of the conspiracies come out, but then they just pin it on the Democrats. You know, that's the scam. That's the point. This is why you get endless scam text messages from about Republican agendas and stuff like that. Like that's on both sides, but we can agree that typically it looks like that. Typically it looks like, you know, oh, are you seeing what the Democrats are trying to do this time? You know, and stuff like, it's like, what are they trying to do? Put a couple of regulations on something so that it doesn't hurt us? Oh, man. Oh, that's so terrible. Oh, man, I'll make sure to be upset about that later, that, oh, man, they were looking out for our national security. They put some regulations in place. That's actually the conservative view. This is what you have to realize. Like, nobody gets what conservatism is anymore. Like, you want to regulate things. You want to... But for the purposes of advancing them and stuff like that, and keeping an eye on it. Like, the United States must maintain, you know, that number one position, and they must be allowed to do that. And it's very obvious that there's some other things that are happening here and being used on the United States that we cannot get ahead of. We cannot and are not getting ahead of. And there's too much of it. It's actually like getting, like, it's really, really bad. It's like, it's taking over. Like, basically, like, if it's not one thing, it's another. If it's not our debt, it's this, it's this, it's this. Like, it basically, it just seems like, you know, the current administration really did actually operate a plan to dismantle the government by crippling us financially. It really does seem that way. And that was Project 2025 that we kind of tried to warn you about, that seems like legitimate concerns. Like, it wasn't a conspiracy theory, it was somebody leaked that this is what they had planned to do and this is what it would do. That's it. Like, it was probably a Democrat that leaked it too. They caught wind of it, so they tried to leak it to get you to find out. And again, like, that's not a conspiracy theory. Consider it like, yeah, like, I get that you're but like, just use real evidence of what you've seen, and then extrapolate from that based on what's happened, what will happen. I wouldn't call that a conspiracy. I'd call that history repeats itself. You know, we have a guy sitting here saying that he thought Hitler had some good ideas. He's very obviously on that list. You know, like, we all heard that response where he's just trying to get everybody to stop talking about it now. Like, come on, man. And listen, meanwhile, everybody's focused on what the hell David Draymond thinks about Israel. Like this is the point. Like, they want us to fight. This is the point, guys. The point is, let's you know, use this. Let's use this like thing. Like, you gotta be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Yes, most of us don't agree on the position he decides to take politically in that stance. Yes, I understand that. However, don't boo him. What the f*** is wrong with you? The guy has every right to feel the way he wants to feel about whatever the fuck he wants. David Draymond is not running the country. He doesn't have the nuclear codes. He's not in the National Security Administration. He's not sitting here running the FBI. He's just the singer of Disturbed. If anything, great. That's probably fuel for his lyrics later on. I don't care what the guy thinks. What the fuck do you care? Why do you boo him? What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, and is that a good way to change his mind? When he comes out on stage, let's all boo him and show him how much we hate him? Just for his political opinion? What the fuck is the matter with you? And then meanwhile, the other countries love this. They love how stupid you look, casting out your fellow Americans that are beacons to our community, beacons to our society. This guy's like an American, and like you just make him look a certain way by doing that. Like you make all of us look a certain way. You just stand there and you just do it. Who the fuck cares? Leave him alone. Like seriously, you should have just cheered all the same. But instead, you showed everybody what you were thinking about at a fucking rock concert when this guy came out on stage. You got some problems, man. And you take it to the rock concerts with you. Let it go. Nobody gives a shit what David Draymond, and you shouldn't. What the fuck is wrong with you that you give a shit what David Draymond thinks? Yeah, alright, he signed some missiles or something like I heard something like that. Okay. Alright. What do you care? Seriously, why? Why are you doing this? Boo? Is he a political figure? Like, if he was a political figure, fine, boo him. Yeah, like he says stupid shit like that, then comes out and has the audacity to try to give a political speech on togetherness and shit like that. Yeah, alright, he's gonna sound pretty stupid. But, like, he's not. I mean, this guy's the lead singer for Disturbed. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty disturbed fucking response to the situation in Israel. To agree with Israel that they should just be randomly fucking attacking each other and bombing shit, and you should sign the weapons that are doing... Yeah, that's pretty disturbed, yep. But again, I don't give a shit. That's his opinion. So why the fuck are you sitting here booing him for it? Doesn't make any sense, man. I had to give it that. I had to put that one in there. Anyway, I just, the point is, you gotta let that stuff go. You're at a rock concert. The point is that shows everybody what you're thinking about instead of the music. You know what I mean? Dave Draymond doesn't deserve that. It's his opinion. Leave him go. Just don't shit all over his music just because you disagree with his political opinions. The same thing with George Lucas. Same thing with anybody that comes out and says what their political stance is. Don't shit on their movies. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if Tom Cruise is a Scientologist. I don't give a shit if Tom Cruise votes this way or that way. Who cares? What does that have to do with you and watching and enjoying his movie? Is that somehow, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, all right, like, I guess, but then just don't watch it and shut up. Like, don't hold that against him just because your opinion of his lifestyle, you know what I mean? Like, that's really kind of fucked up in my opinion. Pretty good today. That was pretty good today. Oh, that's delicious. That is delicious. I got a 2-liter of Pepsi too that I just dropped because it's too sweaty to pick up. It's all sweaty, so I dropped it. I know the Pepsi's sweating. Look at all that condensation. I got a 2-liter of cola. Yeah, we got we got a 2-liter of cola. And liter cola. What's a liter? So, okay, talking, I'm just trying to chew. It's good. So, anyway, what I want you guys to remember is that all while this is happening, a lot of it's happening to me, and I am realizing that it's happening. And I do know that it's happening, but it's the sort of thing where, all right, let's say I were to just be out with it. Completely out with all of it, out with every little single detail, every single thing I've seen. I think somebody would die. I think immediately somebody would die. I think if I said everything and I was out with every single little last thing that would happen, I think very quickly people would start dying. And that's why I have coded this, I have layered this, I have sat here and done everything that I could to try to show everybody what is happening in a clever way so that you can kind of follow along, but you have to figure it out too. And it'd be really hard to do if you don't speak English. Like, that shit would, like, you have to translate it, and it'd just be really difficult to just be, it's really layered. So, like, it's again, there's times where we say things specifically just for certain things to happen, and then we see them happen. Things that don't really make any sense, where things are happening based on like what you say and stuff like that. Like just things that don't make any sense. And this particular piece of fact reigns true with absolutely a definitive piece of evidence if somebody would talk to me. It's evidence in my mind, but it'd be hard to. Again, I can't say it. But if you would trust what I'm telling you, if I said this and you trusted what I was telling you, you would immediately realize why I can't say it. You would immediately realize the danger, and you would immediately realize why they're doing and how they're able to do it. Well, not exactly how, but you would have a really good idea. You would immediately. There's just things that people don't do anymore. You know what I mean? Because these people don't do these things anymore, those very few of us have figured this out. Does that make sense? Most people have to be watching something, doing something. Those of us who don't, like we meditate or we go for walks and we're like alone. There's nothing else around. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? And for the sake of protecting somebody, again, I do know why definitively, but I can't say. Can't or won't. Both. I mean, I suppose I could. Physically. I have the ability to. Yeah, if that's what you're wondering. Like, I have the ability to. I guess it's more I won't, out of protection. So anyway, what I was saying, with the whole concept of how they're able to do this and what they're using and stuff like that. Just remember that, just like I told you guys with like the drama, like with stuff like that. This is the point. Is like people wonder where you draw the line, how to proceed anymore. They don't understand. Well, if we're not supposed to boo somebody that has influence like that and says the wrong thing, then what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to fight back against this? Well, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Does booing David Draymond, we'll use that as an example. Does booing him, just for the sake of the political thing, just because knowing, what he said and stuff, does that somehow help with what you're trying to do, with your cause? Or do you notice that it actually, kind of makes it almost like it kind of does the opposite? Where people from that side of things now kind of, don't like you, because you're just, booing him. And then at the same time, it didn't really help you, convince him or get your point across or anything like that. Isn't that ultimately what you would want to do? You would want him to understand why you feel that way, so that way maybe in time he could possibly figure out a way to change his mind. Because you have to understand, that's his opinion. He is perfectly allowed and allotted to feel that way. But if you present your argument in a constructive, intelligent manner over time, there's different, way different than your response to just boo somebody off stage. Don't attack him where he lives. Don't attack. The guy is a great singer. Why are you trying to act like he's not? That's the point. You're booing the wrong thing. It's just any other time people have been doing this lately, where they just want to cancel somebody just because they disagree with that person. You know what would be fascinating is if you made a band or something and inspired them through lyrics or something. Now that would be something. Maybe you would. You never know. Maybe you're just super inspiring. You make a music video or something. There you go. Now we're on something. It'll inspire people. The shit I'm doing, don't do that. There's a reason for all of this. It's not, but don't go this route. It's what you don't do. That's the point. That will be the point. Something else. There's all this other crap going on too. There's so much going on. But yeah, that was important for me to remember to get out. I definitely remember to say that, because it's just super important for people to remember that. Not that me particularly saying anything will change much, but I just hope that it helps some way, some small way. That's actually a good point too. Like, what you have to realize too is we all need to kind of do our part. Like, we're all, those of us that this is happening to, we're all sort of kind of fighting this war. Like, this isn't necessarily just being, like, it's still being fought by soldiers, but it's not necessarily just the same types that you're used to seeing. You know, it's being fought by all of us who recognize what the other side is trying to do, what that evil corruption is trying to do. And again, it's just evil. It's not a political. It's not communism. It's not, like, I think it's important for us to just, like, yes, communism is one of those evils. It definitely is. But like, it's not any one political thing. It's like, just label that under that same umbrella. It's all evil. Start recognizing, like Nazism, Hitler, all that stuff. Just start recognizing it as evil. That's all. Anything that splits us up, casts people out, is segregating, it's wrong. The whole point is, we're so strong for so long. We were the United States. They're dividing us. So we have to fight that back. We have to remember that at any given time. Really, really do. Let me also say this. Donald Trump's not my favorite person in the world. He's really not. But let me say this. Like, if I saw him somewhere, just for some reason, or something like that, I would still respect him and, be like, oh, hey, Mr. President, how are you? Or something like that. Like, it wouldn't be rude. It wouldn't be like how I talk about how I feel about, him as a politician is different than how I'm going to treat him as a person. Does that make sense? Like, you don't make things personal. That's where everybody started going wrong. They started making it too personal. And that's where I am so different than everybody else. Like I said, if I were Secret Service, yeah, I'd still jump in front of that gun. Flat out. I would jump right in front of it. I would still dive on top of it. I would still do those things. But yes, if I was right in front of him, no, I wouldn't be insulting. No, I wouldn't be like one of these assholes that screams at him and is nasty to him. Why do people do this? Say nothing. No, don't be. You really want him to listen? Don't show any emotions. Don't smile. Don't frown though. Don't act angry. They will use this. If you truly want him to notice that you're unsatisfied, don't do anything. Just simply sit there. When he comes out to talk, just sit there. Don't give him an applause. But if you boo him, come on, that's just fuel for the fire, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's what you did to Draymond. It's fuel for the fire, man. Now he's pissed. He's just going to be pissed off. He's going to lash out. He's going to say some shit he doesn't mean. Guarantee it. Guarantee fucking you. Because that's what people do. He's a human being. It's literally all that's going to happen. Guarantee it. And he's going to regret it. I'm like, shit. Why'd I have to... Oh, right. That thing where it's called being human again. That's right. It's like... He's a human being. Like... We are all so is Donald Trump. I've got news for you. Yeah, Kim Jong-un is another human being. I got news for North Koreans. Kim Jong-un ain't no god. He's a human being. So, again, why you boo? Why you antagonize? I've just learned that, because I've always laughed at these videos too and kind of thought they were funny in the past, but I'll be honest, now that I think about it, part of the reason for that is because I've never really done that. And then I started rationalizing, I started realizing, well, alright, like, how would I act if I was at, like, a Donald Trump rally or something, like, and I started putting myself in that position. I thought to myself, oh my god, I wouldn't do that. I would just sit there and pay attention. And yeah, I might shake my head or kind of like disagree or maybe even leave. But I sure as hell wouldn't boo or like what the fuck is wrong with you? And first of all, why would you go to a Donald Trump convention and then just boo the man? Like, what was the purpose? Like, why did you do that? or you know, the other times they do it. You know, like, yes, he's not my favorite person in the world. No, I really don't like his politics, no. And yes, I do think that he's very bad for the country. He's got all kinds of problems all over the world. Yeah, I think that's true. But, is he still the president? Yeah, unfortunately. So, why disrespect that? Like, does it serve you a purpose? If it served you a purpose, fine, but it doesn't. All it does is do the opposite. I think that's the message a lot of people need to hear. Whole thing with keeping him, I think, is just a stigma because people wanted to cancel him so quick, and thus this sort of cancel thing became a permanent sort of thing where people didn't know how to stop. You know, they see it becoming more like that, they just have to cancel it. You know, it's like, no, we don't want to cancel that. Just don't watch it. Like you're super offended by that thing. Why would you watch it anyway? So, like, it's like, do you really need to cancel that? No. Just don't watch it. Ay. This planet is all we have, guys. We got to take care of it. We can't be arguing and fighting and not getting along. You know, just to talk, maybe had something valid or some reason he thought that, and maybe somebody other, you know, like than him could give him intelligent feedback too, and maybe then he would figure something out he never did. You know, like, if you don't try, you never know. And it, like that's not even just that. Like that person, I'm talking just in general. Like that's with any situation. Like, you could do that with anything, with anybody. You know, like, that's how you should look at it in general. Like, that's why I always try to figure out where somebody's coming from. You know, like, why do you think that, or something like that. And then somebody says something like really easy, quick, dismissive things that, like, you can easily discredit. Well, then that's a little bit different. You know, then I know where you're coming from with that information. You didn't, you know, you pulled it off a headline and didn't read the article. You know, like you're just one of those people that just doesn't, you're not really educating yourself. You just came to this conclusion. I'll be honest with you, Dave Draymond's he doesn't strike me as the guy that does that. He really doesn't. I'll bet there's a reason he thinks that way. And, you know, I don't necessarily agree with it either. But again, I'm just trying to tell you, I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there's a valid, legitimate. I'm just saying, you have to be human about it. I have seen that guy at concerts. I have seen him pull up somebody on stage that was a little scared. And I have seen him admit that he was wrong about things. I'm not going to say what they were because there's no reason. He already admitted he was wrong. So I've seen him do this. I know what kind of person that is, that admits they're wrong. Yeah, that's called a strong person. It's not a weak person. It's also called an intelligent person because they know that they can't, like once they're wrong, if they don't admit that, now they do themselves a disservice as like living in denial, where they're twice as likely to not admit they're wrong about something else. And so like this is the point, like I've seen that out of him. I've seen him admit that he was wrong about something before. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's not any of my business. It shouldn't be any of yours. But yeah, I have seen evidence of that. And that's it. That's where that should stop. And not only that, but like, again, humanize it. Again, just try to at least meet somebody halfway and understand why they would, like, don't just immediately boo somebody and attack them at home. There's no reason for that. We gotta work together, guys. Togetherness, work together. All right. Well, I guess that's really all I needed to really talk with you guys about at this particular point in time. There's a lot going on, and I'm trying to stay on top of it. I know. I do know that there are legitimately some people that actually do come on here and ask for my opinion on what to think about certain things. I am aware of that, and so yeah, I am trying to stay on top of that as much as I can and stuff like that. But there's so much going on. There really is, and you have to understand I have a lot going on too. So I can't just do this 24/7. But I do try to touch on the things that I can, that I think are important. And that's definitely one of them. People should not have been booing David Draymond at the concert where he showed up to pay respect to Ozzy and everybody else that was there and was disrespected. No, I don't think people should have done that. That's really messed up. So